A report. We'll discuss agriculture, livestock, and forestry news. We'll also have some tips for your lawn and garden, as well as information for homemakers. Now here is Cabell County Extension Agent John Marra.
Good morning. First thing I want to say to you this morning is if you've got these beautiful mums, and you know, if you're looking around the landscape and as you're traveling on the roads and looking at the homes, you can see a lot of these beautiful mums out. I mean, all different kinds of colors. I don't know, it seems like this year the beauty of the mums is even more than it's ever been in any other year. Let me tell you something. In order to get these nice and full again next year, what you want to do is, as soon as like the end of November, when we get the big heavy freezes and these die back, what you want to do is then cut these back about 2 inches from the ground, then cover them with straw. And what this will do, that'll keep all the way through the winter, and they'll start coming back up in the springtime. But remember, you need to do that if you're going to keep these as a perennial. And while I'm talking about perennials and bulbs and that, my third guest, let me just go into that. Hal Neen is the county extension agent in Meigs County. He'll be my third guest today. We'll be talking about planting bulbs this time of season. Well, first of all, Matt Dillon will be my first guest, and Matt is with the West Virginia Forestry Division. And of course, starting October 1, it's forest fire prevention, and we're going to talk a lot about that and how we can protect the forest in the tri-state area. Now, John Smith, my good old friend with the FSA, used to be the ASCS, will be here, and we'll be talking about tobacco and farmers and rules and regulations and guidelines that they have for tobacco farmers out there. So we have a good program for you this morning. We'll be right back and we'll talk to Matt Dillon with the West Virginia Forestry Division in just a minute.
They're ready for Christmas at Milton Flea Market. That's right. You know it's not too early to start shopping for your bargains, and there's no better place to find variety and great prices than Milton Flea Market. From antiques, crafts, and handbags to ceramics, clothing, and auto supplies. You know it's a real shopper's paradise. And remember, at Milton Flea Market, you can walk 1.5 miles and never pass the same shop twice. Plus, there's more than 60 rockers around to rest if you get tired. Christmas begins at Milton Flea Market. Milton.
Next, Inside Edition. He spent 7 years in prison for a murder he says he didn't commit.
I did not shoot this woman, and I can prove it.
Now we confront the woman whose story put him away.
Did you see Gary shoot your mother?
Plus, for Travolta, it's mainly his plane. For Denis, it's a custom home on wheels. See the surprising ways your favorite stars escape the spotlight. Hollywood Havens on the next Inside Edition.
Weekdays at 12:30.
My first guest is Matt Dillon, who is with the West Virginia Forestry Division, and you're basically stationed right here in the Milton area, are you not?
I'm in Milton, yes, John.
And your primarily responsibility, of course, is forest fire prevention. And I want you to know, if you see that is Smokey Bear.
That's right,
Now, I got criticized the other day when I called it Smokey the Bear.
That's right.
And it's not Easter the Bunny. It's
Santa the Claus.
Or Santa the Claus. That's Smokey Bear.
That's right.
And I'm going to wear that all the way through fire season. Make sure that's a reminder to a lot of people that we need to take a look at trying to prevent forest fires. And that's why you're here this morning.
That's right.
On the Saturday Report. Appreciate you being here.
Okay.
We've had some forest fires already, haven't we?
Yes, we have. To date, we've had about 29 fires and have burned around 190 acres.
So where were most of these 29 fires, Matt?
We've had them all over the district: Kanawha County, Logan County, Mingo. It's no real particular spot has had the majority. We're just experiencing them everywhere.
Is this unusual? It's been a little bit dry, though, hasn't it?
We've had a really dry summer, and it's caused everything to dry out.
And, a little bit early.
Yeah, earlier than normal.
Yeah, William, talking at the end of the program, I want to ask you a question about even the dry spell we're having coming up. But there's a lot of fires. A lot of acreage burnt last year, wasn't there?
Yes. Fires on the average here in the state, we have about 1,200 fires. And we burn on the average around 5,600 acres, and it causes all kinds of problems for us.
What are we looking at when you talk about problems? Most people just see an area that's just brown and maybe underbrush burnt, but there's more that happens than that, isn't there?
There's a whole lot more to it. It's the trees right there from the get-go. People don't realize that what kind of destruction forest fires cause. There's a problem soil loss, because after a fire goes through, that soil basically becomes sterile. We have problems with water quality because the leaves that are on the hill kind of act like a sponge. They hold the water back. And if all those leaves are burnt off, that water comes from the top of the hillside right into the creek and brings all that mud right with it. Second problem we have is just scenic beauty. Those trees get burnt, and next year they're going to leaf out. They're going to look pretty good. But it's the decay that enters into the tree from the scar of the forest fires. Those trees will die in 10, 12 years down the road.
But it also, you're talking about the scars, and that does something to the timber too, doesn't it?
Oh, the timber quality is just ruined from a forest fire.
And you mentioned wildlife. It's a real problem with that.
And wildlife, if the wildlife, they don't have the option to go to Kroger's to get food. And after a forest fire goes through, then it burns up all the vegetation that they need. So what happens? They have to move to another area, and there's already wildlife living there, so they get the competition, but for food, is really cut down.
What always amazes me is being a county extension agent for 20-some years and talking to people that are responsible for fire prevention. One of the reasons why they start fires is to kill the snakes. Kill the snakes. Come on now.
No.
Number one, you shouldn't be killing the snakes.
The forest fires don't even affect the snakes. Snakes will go underneath the ground, fire will burn over top of them, and they're still there. But we've got burn off soil and damage to the timber and everything.
Now, most of the forest fires are caused a lot of times by burning at the wrong time.
Burning during
and let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, now that we're into forest fire season, it's important to remember that you can only burn after 4 p.m. until 7 a.m. If we burn during other times, it is a violation, and a citation can be issued.
Well, let's talk about wind. I mean, even if it allows you to burn at a certain time, if it's windy, you don't burn. Somebody said, well, if you give me time, if I can do it after 5 o'clock, I don't care if there's a hurricane out there, I'm going to go ahead and burn. It's common sense.
Let common sense be your guide. That's true. I mean, if you can burn after 4 p.m., if it's windy, wait till the next day. Wait till those winds die down.
Okay, what are some of the things farmers? There are a lot of farmers out, watching the Saturday Report. What is your words to them as a farmer, to help prevent forest fires? And it's traditional. These farmers have valuable farmland forests on there, so they should take heed. But yet, eventually, sometimes we have a problem. But what can they do?
Basically, the best thing they can do is use a whole lot of common sense and burn at night. When you're burning at nighttime, the humidity goes up, the winds die down. Next thing to do is have at least a 10-foot wide safety strip around a pile of debris to be burned. And finally, stay with it. Stay with that fire until that last ember's cold. And we won't have problems if they can follow those 3 little rules.
One thing that I noticed too in the world of tobacco production, more and more people are going away from the tobacco beds, burning the tobacco beds. And the rule is that you have to have about 1.5 cords of wood on top of a 100-yard bed, to 100-foot bed, in order to kill everything that's underneath of it. That's a lot of wood underneath there.
That's a whole lot of work to even put that wood there.
But where do a lot of people put it? Right on the side of a hill, and they burn that, and up it goes. So we've got now at least chemicals out there that you can use if you still with the traditional bed, or we can take a look at the float bed systems that we have, which I think is adequate. Those are some of the things that maybe also too we can keep away from getting in trouble. Dry weather coming up. What's the word?
Dry. It causes us to be a little bit cautious. The real problem that we're going to get is later on in the fall when the leaves drop off. And when the leaves drop off, it allows the sunlight to directly hit the forest floor. And when that forest floor gets dried out, that's when the real problems start to happen.
No, man, I know you and I were at a media dinner a couple weeks ago, and one of the questions that I think Tony Cavalier brought that up was there's other states around, and they have different fire regulations, forest fire regulations. So, encourage them to check in? Yeah,
the best advice I can have, if you're in Ohio or Kentucky, call your local DNR and find out when it is safe to burn in your area.
I know one thing about, although there's some mountainous areas in Ohio, there's more mountainous areas towards Huntington, same way with Kentucky, and those areas are more susceptible because of the draft, wind draft that goes up and down. But Matt, I appreciate you being on the Saturday Report this morning. I think it's very, very important, very, very timely right now. Even though forests are renewable, most of the soil, has a problem renewing those trees after there's a forest fire on there, right?
That's it.
Thanks a lot, Beat Saturday Report.
Thanks, John.
We'll be right back. We'll talk to John Smith with FSA out of the Hamlin area in just a minute.
Don't put off getting dentures any longer. There's somewhere to get affordable dentistry. Stadium Denture Center in Parkersburg. Doctors Lance L. Shears and Donald E. Coe offer preventative and general dentistry, including extractions. Your dentures are made in our own laboratory by trained technicians. Single dentures are $199, full upper and lowers $398. All insurance plans are honored with approval, and Stadium Denture Center accepts MasterCard and Visa. Call 304-428-6495 for an appointment. Stadium Denture Center in Parkersburg.
You'll pay 0 interest and you'll make 0 payments when you buy new carpet for the holidays at Tim Hogan's Carpet. We'll give you 9 months, same as cash. You can choose from any of our beautiful lines of carpet or get 3 rooms or 40 square yards for only $599. And that includes carpet, pad, and labor. So there is magic in the air and magic at Tim Hogan's Carpet.
Tim Hogan's the way to buy carpet.
My next guest, John Smith with the FSA down in Hamlin. Of course, that's Lincoln and Boone and Mingo and what else? Logan County. I can never get all those right. By the way, how's old Hamlin Bobcat football down that way?
Bobcats are undefeated.
Undefeated?
Right.
Hey, very, very good. Now we'll get back to the subject we're going to talk about. Oh, you were going to say something.
This program's coming on Saturday morning. They play Friday night, so I don't know what's going to happen Friday night.
Oh, okay. Here we go. They're undefeated, right? Probably they'll be undefeated.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Hey, let's talk about tobacco.
Okay.
Let's talk about tobacco. Okay, first of all, what's it looking like down in Hamlin, Lincoln County, up in the barn? I assume you got it all in.
Well,
some of it.
Good assumption, but we don't. A lot of the tobacco that I've seen this year, John, is pretty poor quality. As a matter of fact, I talked with my good friend Terry Gum, who is FSA director over in Putnam County, and early in the year, and I asked him how the tobacco crop was in Putnam County, and his answer was, well, it's about as bad as I've seen since 1983. And if you remember, the 1983 crop was the year when the pool bought a lot of tobacco, and we had a lot of. But the difference between then and now is the curing weather in '83 is what killed us. That was just a terrible curing weather. Whereas this year's not too bad. It's not curing out bad at all. But in the field, it was not a very good crop overall. Some people had good tobacco, but overall it was not a good crop at all.
And that's amazing to me, is that looking at some tobacco that they didn't even harvest.
Right.
Unharvestable tobacco. Others, I've never seen such beautiful tobacco out there. It's the time you get it out, the management that you give us, and hopefully your disease and insect control, and hopefully maybe, I don't know if very few people ever irrigated, but the ground was able to retain a little bit of moisture in that. But I tell you what, it's just like night and day seeing some of that tobacco out there.
This year we had the early rains, the fertilized washed out or leached out early in spring, so did the weed killer, and then we had all that rain and then it quit. And that was the end of the story. And we had the drought conditions, plus a lot of disease problems.
There's, the harvest, the marketing season is just right around the corner. And probably one of the things we need to really do, and they're probably going to really crack down on this, and that's the bale size.
Bale size, we need to really watch bale size. We're being encouraged, and if not, perhaps soon to be regulated, bale size. And we recommend no larger than 100 pounds. And and I know that when you go down to the market, a lot of times it's not unusual for those guys or for the farmer who's unloading his truck to strain. And those bales are 120, 130, 150 pounds. And we're really encouraging farmers to decrease that bale size to get it down to about 100 pounds.
Now, when the farmer comes in there, he needs to be coming. Maybe they've already been in here. You've already signed up a little pledge that he did not use pesticides. He used pesticides according to recommended recommendations on the label.
Right.
And so how does this come in? Do they actually check that tobacco for pesticide residue?
Well, it is subject to spot check. Any tobacco that comes through a tobacco market is subject to spot check, random. So there is always that. But each farmer who picks up his marketing card will certify that that he did not use any pesticide that was not approved by EPA for use on tobacco, or a pesticide and did not follow label directions.
You know, I know a lot of farmers use Ridamil in this planter water, which is a no-no.
That's right.
It's not recommended to do that. So we want to make sure that you follow all label directions. And I think probably the worst one out there is not the fact that they applied something they shouldn't have, but it was a application method that was wrong. And that's part of that sign up too, that you pledge.
And inherently, farmers will use, well, if they recommend 2 quarts per acre, then 3 quarts must be a lot better. Yeah. And so a lot of times we use too much material.
Now, you've got, this year they have a chance to donate money to the John Smith fund, as we've said.
No,
but it's to a no net fund, right?
Well, since 1983, when we had the bad crop year in '83, Congress passed the no net cost fund in about that time. I'm not sure the year of it, but anyway, it was because there was so much tobacco going into the pool. It was costing the government a lot of money for storage and transportation on that bad crop 1983 tobacco. So they got rid of that, but they maintained the no net fund, which says that any tobacco that's sold to the pool will not cost the average taxpayer any money. So it's a farmer paid for program. I think this year it's a penny a pound, maybe 2. I can't remember right off. But industry pays half and the farmer pays half.
Well,
so they'll have to contribute to that.
You know, it's like somebody saying that the government pays, for tobacco, for all the graders and all that stuff. They don't pay a thing. It all comes out of that.
Right.
Actually, the tobacco farmer and the company pay for that.
The producer and the industry pays for their own program.
Okay, let's hit on the subject that's always a very enjoyable subject called nesting. And they're from what I hear, they're going to crack down a little bit more on that too.
Nesting is getting to be a serious problem. And nesting is concealing tobacco of inferior grade or quality or condition, or foreign material such as bricks and steel and tombstones and anything that's not tobacco, and concealing it in a bale of tobacco. That's nesting. That's illegal. There's a lot of penalties involved for that. So farmers need, and especially this year, if we've had a crop that's questionable, farmers really need to take a long, hard look at grades. And tobacco that may be house burned, or tobacco that may be damaged for some reason or a little muddy, needs to be separated so we can keep that in a separate grade.
Somebody, I don't even answer it. Someone didn't put a tombstone in it.
Yes, it's a true story.
God. Grandma's tombstone.
It's a true story.
Let's talk about. We got about 1 minute. Let's talk about false ID. You can't trade cards with somebody.
False identification of tobacco is when a farmer allows someone else to use his card. It's a no-no. Do not allow someone else to use your card. Do not use someone else's card to carry your excess.
A guy with a white tie and a little badge will be probably visiting you.
Yeah.
One more question, and I need to get to that one. They need to return those marketing cards with.
Yes, as soon as they're through with their marketings, they need to return the marketing card to the office and certify any carryover or disposition pounds that they might have.
Any farmer out there that's got questions on marketing tobacco and regulations and that, please contact your FSA office in the county where you live, or in the region where you live. That's very, very important. Don't try to play ignorant. To get all the facts first to keep you out of trouble. John Smith, appreciate you being here. Hope the Bobcats won last night.
That's right.
We'll be right back. We'll talk to Plant Man Al Neen in just a minute.
So often we take our sight for granted, and then it is gone. Life becomes a memory, but it can be yours again to enjoy. Dr. and Mrs. Anwar have dedicated themselves to the creation of the Anwar Cataract Center, a facility that offers a comprehensive approach to medical care.
Most people after the operation say, I see as good as when I was 25 years old. That makes the surgeon happy. That makes the patient happy.
The most advanced technique, specialized care, and personal attention, the Anwar Cataract Center.
Saturday, Marshall Thundering Herd football is on WSAZ News Channel 3.
Live. Jim Donnan calls it the Burma Road, the trip to Cullowhee, as Marshall takes on Western Carolina, the Thundering Herd gunning for a Southern Conference win, right here on News Channel 3.
See the game.
Saturday, Marshall Thundering Herd football, live at 1 p.m.
Feel the thunder.
Only on WSAZ News Channel 3.
Our next guest is Hal Neen, who is the county extension agent of Meigs County.
How you doing today?
Very good, very good. Looks like you got a lot of goodies here. And we're going to be talking about what? Bulbs?
Bulbs.
Okay, what bulbs can be planted right now? And you've got a long time to do it, so we got a lot of choices. But what can we go look for at the store?
Okay, well, you can look for right now, we're looking at hyacinths, daffodils, the crocus. We've got some grape hyacinths here. And you look at some scillas. We also have all sorts of other minor type bulbs, daffodils, if people like those. Okay. Also some lilies.
What time should we put these in the ground?
You should really be starting, if it was daffodils, you could start last month. If we're looking at most of these bulbs this month and through the middle of November is fine. For tulips, we can even plant all the way up through Christmas. In fact, sometimes even after Christmas, and they'll still bloom next year.
Well, now you need what? 10 weeks to 12 weeks, don't you, of those in the ground as a cold treatment?
As